Good day, folks. Welcome back to Ed's Garage at Bannister Hyundai. So today a quick video just in regard to some interesting news recently out of Australia that Hyundai has trademarked the name, I guess you can call them names, or the designations, T7 and T10 as part of the Ioniq group. Now, that would indicate that they're planning on making a couple of electric pickup trucks, which is exciting. Now, this isn't really new news. I mean, the news is basically on the trademark names, T7 and T10. However, ever since the Santa Cruz came out, the designers for the Santa Cruz, including like Albert Bierman and Peter Schreier and whatnot, they've been saying that Hyundai will be producing an electric truck at some point, and obviously Hyundai is moving to an all-electric lineup sometime in the 2030s. So what I'd like to do is speculate a little bit about what we can expect to see for the Ioniq T7 and T10 based on what we already know about on the Santa Cruz. So the T7 will likely be, well, I think it's obvious that it's going to be the smaller version of the pickup truck, and the T10 will be a larger pickup truck. So the T7 probably is going to be something like a Santa Cruz, with a 4-foot box, that sort of thing. What we would like to see is a 5 foot, maybe even a 5.5 foot box, but I think it's safe to say that's not going to happen on the T7. But on the T10, I think it's a pretty good bet that it'll be at least a 5.5 foot box, maybe a 6 foot box, and probably competing with the Ford Lightning. So I think it's safe to say we'll see at least 400 kilometers on both of them. However, as these are expected to come out in 2025, with new battery technology and whatnot, maybe we can see a little higher range, maybe 550 kilometers, 600 kilometers perhaps. Probably not. But anyway, that's what I'm thinking. So the T7, Ioniq T7, will be probably about the size of a Santa Cruz, probably around a 4-foot box. T10, a little bit bigger. They'll both be 4 doors though. Hyundai isn't going to do a 2-door pickup truck. That's highly unlikely. So we're not going to be competing with the Alpha Wolf or anything like that. It's going to be a 4-door pickup for both the T7 and the T10. T7 will probably be somewhere around like the Rivian in styling and size. By the way, guys, the thumbnail obviously is AI generated. Those are not actual concepts, but it'd be pretty cool if they were, because I don't know, I think they look pretty awesome. I played around with Copilot on Bing's website. But anyway, so I think it's safe to say the T7 will probably be something like a Rivian in size, and then the T7, or the T10 rather, a little bit bigger. As far as charging architecture, no doubt they will have at least 800 volt architecture. I think that's the way that the Ioniq lineup is going. Based on what we know of the Ioniq 7, which is a larger SUV, I think charging time, 10 to 80%, probably is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 minutes, especially if we look at the Kia EV9 as an example. So still, using that 800 volt architecture, it's going to be a pretty quick charging, pretty fast charging capability. As far as pricing goes, I'm going to call it, I'm going to say that the T7 is probably going to be around 80,000 Canadian. So, I don't know, maybe 65,000 US, 80,000 Canadian, around there. T10, I think we're going to be right up into the 90s for Canadian market, and probably somewhere around 75 to 80 for the US market. So, yeah, we'll see what that works out to. I think this is pretty exciting, and I think we'll probably see a concept within about a year or so. So stay tuned for my future videos on this subject, because I'd like to see if my predictions come true. This is, having sold now Hyundais for 8 years, we'll see what happens. But for now, the Santa Cruz is a great little unit. It's not really a pickup truck. It's more of a, well, they call it a sport adventure vehicle. And the T7 will probably be very similar, not necessarily classified as a pickup truck, definitely not going to be body on frame. And the T10, that's up in the air. I don't know. They have said that they want to compete with the Ford F-150 at some point, so maybe that'll be about that big, and whether or not it's a body on frame, remains to be seen. It's highly unlikely though, because that's rather inefficient. So anyway, let's stay tuned for the next couple of years. We'll come back to this video once we have more information, and I don't know, see how close we were. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.